So in this video, we'll review the second study by Gilmore and Jordan, and that serves as the second basis for our content analysis. We'll be using codes from this study as well when we code new content, so it's important to get familiar with the study itself. These types of studies originated because of a concern about childhood obesity. In the mid to late 2000s, there was a great deal of attention and concern about the rise of childhood obesity worldwide. 4 mechanisms were related to media use and have been attributed as a connection between media use and obesity. Specifically, Jordan and Robinson in 2008 point out that there's 4 mechanisms that have been hypothesized as the way through which television viewing may lead children to be overweight. 1, lowering rest energy expenditure. So they're spending less energy, they're sitting, and they're not using as many calories. The displacement of physical activity, so the typical couch potato, right? If they're not engaging in physical activity, then they're sitting on the couch watching TV, and that's maybe leading to increased obesity. Food advertising leading to greater energy intake. So that's suggesting that when they watch television, you get an appetite for what you're seeing in the advertisement. And lastly, eating while viewing, leading to greater energy intake. So you snack as you watch. As a result, research has been conducted on food advertising in particular, with attention to those foods that are targeted towards children and youth. As we saw from Kunkel and Gantz, almost half of the products advertised in the 1990s were food, and only 3% of those for healthy food. Now, what we learned from Kunkel and Gantz is how much advertising is focused on food. But what we don't know, is how these products are being portrayed in relationship to who is using the products in the ads. Are they girls or are they boys? What is the race of the people in the ads? These are important things to consider because children are more likely to imitate behaviors of models that they believe are similar to them in gender, age, and race. So let's take a look at what Gilmore and Jordan found about food advertising and role models and consider how we can use this in our own research. Gilmore and Jordan had 6 research questions, and they're kind of grouped into 3 different categories. So first, they were looking at the racial composition of characters in food and beverage advertisements, and then they also wanted to see if certain foods were associated with different races. Secondly, they were looking at the eating locales. They first wanted to identify where food was being consumed, and then were there any differences in the settings, again, by racial composition. And then lastly, they were looking at the depiction of an active lifestyle. So was an active lifestyle associated with different foods and beverages? And then again, was the active lifestyle associated with particular racial depictions? We'll be zooming in on the first 2 questions concerning the racial composition of characters and also adding in the gender composition of characters. Moreover, we're going to expand this just beyond food advertising and look at all types of advertising. So let's look at how Gilmore and Jordan did their study and what are the key findings as they relate to our own coding. First off, what was their sample? They recorded children's programs from 8 different sources. They recorded broadcast networks as well as cable channels. And they were looking specifically for programs that were targeted towards kids. Overall, they identified 123 program titles and recorded shows over 6 weeks. They ended up with over 60 hours of programming. Now, this sample size is more in line with the previous examples in the 1970s and 80s, where they had 60 to 80 hours of programming, not like the one we just read about Kunkel and Gantz with their 604 hours. So what did they find about food advertising? First, it's important to note that they found only 22% of the little over 1,000 ads were for food and beverages, leaving 78%, of course, for non-food and beverage products. Of those, the top 4 product categories were breads and cereals, dairy products, soft drinks, and fruits and vegetables. So, what about race?